Hello, everybody. Chris here on day 20 of 43. And I'd just like to bring you up to speed on what happened on day 18 and 19. Not a lot to report. I will just go through it very quickly. Day 18, we had our Saturday schooling, education, and the topic this week was the muscle groups, types, and the importance of training our muscles. Yeah, especially as we get older. So the long and the short of the summary is we need to use our muscles, train our muscles. And there was quite a few interesting facts. One of them was I think we spend 9 years of our life sitting down at work, be that at a desk or whatever. So yeah, I work online, kind of the IT world, and a lot of my time is spent sitting in front of a laptop, which is part of the reason that's brought me here. Not looking after myself, taking breaks. So it's kind of the obvious, but when you hear it again in a sort of schooling setting, it's nice to be reminded of the importance of taking breaks, and something I will be trying to do in the near future and beyond. So yeah, that was Saturday from the clinics aspect. The rest of it was really free time on day 18 and 19. But I had a nice interaction at lunch. I was sitting at lunch on my own. A lot of the people had gone away last weekend, and so I was sitting there, and an elderly man, maybe mid-60s, came. Said, "Is this free?" And I says, "Yeah, go ahead." And so we just started to talk, and then he was wondering where I was from, and then he started to speak his best English, and it was so sweet. He was trying, just as I'm sure as it's sweet that I try. And so we had a nice interaction. It turns out he loves his running, and he was quite a sprinter in his day, and still is. He does a faster 5K in his mid-60s than I've ever done. So, no, that was a nice experience, and I think it's a lesson. If you're just sitting on your own and you see someone sitting on their own, I guess it doesn't hurt to go and say, "Do you mind if I join you?" And all they can do is say no, right? But I think we're becoming more antisocial. I speak from myself mainly, where we think we're caught up in the busy day-to-day stuff, and but actually the simple art of conversation with a stranger is kind of gone lost. So that was a really nice thing to have it on Saturday. Put me in a really good spirit. And then I was also really surprised to be invited to the house of a fellow patient who I hardly know. It was very open, and his met the family, and it was just super nice. It doesn't happen very often in Austria. I'm more used to it in Ireland. Like a lot of the homes have an open door policy in Ireland, and it's less so here on the continent. So that was really nice, humbling. Yeah, but what I didn't do on Saturday that I had planned was this sound bowl therapy, which was unfortunate. I was misinformed about the time, I believe, but it doesn't matter. I wasn't I wasn't too upset about it. It happens, right? Still had a really nice day, and Sunday was much of the same. I basically drove back to my flat in Vienna and spent the day with my kids. Super nice. The last time I went home, I was just trying to fix things. I didn't rest. I didn't sit down. This time I took the time, and I just enjoyed it with the kids. Sorting Lego. Fantastic if you want to calm down, and we all did it together on the kitchen table. And we went for pizza and whatever else. And yeah, it was really nice. Super nice. So here I am on day 20. It's the end of day 20. I'm filming in the dark because it's a bit of a hectic day. In the morning, we had an activation where the teacher had arranged all of the chairs as if it was a horse and carriage ride. So between the 12 of us, we played different roles. I was a horse. Yeah, I don't need to go into it, but it was fun. We had to stand up at different actions, and as a story was being read out, the main thing was our focus group, which was following that class, and it was interesting. We were given a piece of rope, and there were 3 bags with Playmobil and little farm animals or stones, and these could represent you and your family, and you could decide how you want to represent your family with this piece of rope. So you had to create a circle, the circle representing your inner circle of family and friends. You could just be creative, and so that was really interesting. And of course, I did it from above, and I had a bird's eye view of where I see my family and my extended family and my friends, and it made me realize that this is the current situation, and it was kind of, interesting to see, because I have family and friends in Ireland and extended family here in Austria, and just to see where they fit in my inner circle. I'll keep the rest of that personal to myself, but it made me realize, when I was devoted to work, I have neglected many family and friends. And of course, I've maybe lost contact. And this is normal, if you speak to anyone that has a young family, your circle of friends changes. Typically, it changes to the circle of the school friends of your kids, and that's what has happened, and we've met great friends through that. But it's quite sad that we've lost contact with the old friends. When I talk of my friends in Ireland and times in Scotland, it triggered a lot of nostalgia, that exercise, but also how that was the current situation. And I think if I had done the same exercise at the beginning of the year, I think I would have left myself in the middle and been very isolated. That would have been the picture that I would have painted, so to say, with that exercise. It was really nice, and interesting to see how the others in the group have done theirs, and you could see then from all of what they had talked about to visualize it. So it was really interesting. Of course, that remains in the group. Then we had a social competence training. This was okay. Much of it was obvious, but it still made me think, it's about how conversations can go wrong. And what I mean by that is they gave us some situations where you're at a family gathering. Let's say the grandmother has just cooked a lovely dinner, and then somebody says, I need some salt. And of course, the grandmother may take that the wrong way, like I didn't cook right, or it can go many ways. And I guess it's how we formulate such sentences, and it's very important for that not to trigger the negative reactions that could happen. I mean, another one was father is driving the car, is stopped at the traffic lights. It turns green, but he doesn't realize it so fast, and his daughter is in the passenger seat, and she says, light is green. And then the father would say, do you want to drive? Sort of passive aggressive. And it's little things like that. So it just makes you think a little bit whether I take that on board. Maybe I forget it. I hope not. But maybe it's just better to think how we formulate such statements. Yeah. And then we went on for lunch, and then the afternoon session was coordination training. I volunteered to go to that. Turns out I'm pretty coordinated, apart from balancing with my feet. Yeah, we had a meter stick, and you had to balance it on your hand, and then switch hands, and then try to toss it over remain and keep it in balance mode, and then on your feet. And yeah, that was fun. And just it was just nice. And I think we're at that stage where we're going through the schooling and the educational pieces and the groups. We're really looking forward to these type of activities, and we need them. And I mean, today I decided to go for walks in between all of the classes. I just felt like I had to be active. It wasn't an active weekend with all of the visits and so on. So today I feel good. I feel alive and well, that sort of thing. After that coordination training, we had a wellness session where we started with meditation. It was super nice because I realized that I wasn't focusing on my breath, and it was very short and fast paced. And immediately after the meditation, which was really nice, I had focus on my breath and I could be present. Like my mind was running elsewhere. And then we had some activities, and the focus was sight, looking at pictures, trying to remember the pictures, and just discussing how we describe certain pictures. So there was one setting in an English garden in Cornwall where they had some trolls, a variety of trolls, and everyone had similar pictures, but how we described them. But it was very calming and a relaxed interchange. I guess that's the importance of it. It's just bringing everyone to be present. This time it was using sight. And yeah, and then the rest of the day was sport. Between all of the walking, between sessions at the end of the day, I did some sport. We did circuit training. We had different stations where you would do ball work, balancing boards, tennis balls. It was quite light, to be honest. Then we had a tennis ball massage where each of us had a tennis ball, the same as last week. I don't need to go over that again. And then I decided voluntarily to go to the fitness room, and it was great. I did a lot of weights, and I feel I've used today as it's meant to be. It wasn't just another manic Monday. It was a nice Monday. I'm off to get medication now. I look forward to day 21. I have a lot of free time tomorrow. I might actually go for a cycle, weather dependent. So let's see how that pans out. And so I look forward to reporting back. This is me, Chris Wilson, and that's where I'm at. Bye-bye. If you found your way here because burnout has left you feeling lost, disorientated, or like you're questioning everything, welcome. You're not alone, and this space was created with you in mind. On this channel, you'll find 3 powerful series and playlists. Where I Was At is my raw and personal rehabilitation vlog series that documents the real moments of recovery, reflection, and vulnerability. The Share, Inspire, and Explore podcast is where I speak with experts, survivors, and fellow seekers about burnout, resilience, and what it means to rebuild a life. And Where I'm At, a present-day insight series exploring how I'm redefining purpose and well-being one step at a time. And now I'm inviting you to join the Where I'm At community, a safe, evolving space for burned out professionals. It's a platform designed to help you recognize, reset, and reinvent through peer support, expert Q&As, live sessions, and more. It's completely free to join for now, and while not every feature is there from day one, this is a community that will grow with us. Built by a community, for a community. Click the link in the description to join. Whether you're just beginning to ask hard questions or already deep in recovery, you belong here. I'm Chris Wilson, and it's Where I'm At. Thank you.